I'm your host, Davida Shinsky, and you're listening to Live Without Limits, a dreams come true with the right mindset. Today's presentation is titled, How Self-Aware Are You? The two types of self-awareness and how to improve yours. Ever get a bit too stuck in your own head? You think you're right, even though everyone might be telling you you're wrong? This might come down to self awareness issues. Lacking self awareness means that you might struggle to look at a situation and that your actions objectively, inevitably, this can lead to a lot of conflict in your work and your personal life. So, how can you gain greater self awareness and why should you exactly? We'll dig into all the nifty, gritty details. So, first, what is self awareness and why is it so important? Basic self awareness starts at an early age, yet, a more complex level of self awareness begins around 12 to 18 months of age and develops as time goes on. This was noted by researchers who studied children around the age of development. These researchers placed a red dot on the child's nose and placed them in front of a mirror. If the child touched that nose rather than the mirror, researchers saw this as a positive sign that they were more self aware. So, what is self awareness exactly? Well, self awareness is usually understood in two forms: public self awareness and private self awareness. Your private or internal self awareness is how aware you are of your values, actions, and aspirations, and how this impacts others. Your public or external self awareness is, in contrast, comes from understanding how others perceive and view you. With private self awareness, you react less and instead approach your feelings with curiosity. For instance, when you feel angry or sad, you might get curious about why and try to understand what is going on instead of acting on them. Meanwhile, public self awareness comes and opens you up to better understand your interactions with others and how you can treat others in respectful and courteous ways. In many instances, this involves societal and social norms, which are generally accepted by most. And this being us too, why does it matter in the first place? Self awareness has many benefits, including allowing you to control your life outcomes better, providing you with essentials to build happy and thriving relationships, freeing you from biases or assumptions that hold you back, offering a way to regulate your emotions and reactions, decreasing stress and anxiety. It's no secret why the complex or self awareness has become a hot topic as of late. It's important for living a happy and fulfilling life. Just so you know that it isn't to be ignored. So, what causes lack of self awareness? Lacking self awareness happens due to various reasons: fear of change, fear of being wrong and not wanting to be wrong, being afraid of the truth, which could also relate to fear of being wrong, fear of sharing your feelings or being vulnerable with others. These fears can be deeply noted from childhood or a traumatic event. Additionally, they may arise from general beliefs or societal norms. Yet, it doesn't mean that you can't break through them. There. So, what are the five complex components of self awareness? Self awareness is very closely linked to emotional intelligence. To gain increased emotional intelligence, you need greater awareness. And this all comes down to five key components. Self concept. This means exactly what it states. Self concept is your own perception of yourself. These derive from your own experiences, your beliefs about yourself, and what you want in life. Thoughts. If you've ever studied or used cognitive behavioral therapy concepts, then or rather CBT. Okay, so let's say this again. CBT is cognitive behavioral therapy concepts that you'll know that your thoughts impact your feelings. Thus, taking the time to get to know your thoughts, why you're having certain thoughts, and how you can change them so that it can help in leaps and bounds when it comes to awareness. Feelings. Feelings are linked to thoughts. When we feel a certain way, it's worth exploring the thoughts around it. At the end of the day, feelings are real, but they don't always reflect the truth of the situation as a whole. Body. This refers to physical sensations associated with feelings and reactions. It takes increased self awareness to note that your heart is racing and you're sweating. It takes even greater awareness to link this to anxious feelings and why you're feeling those anxious feelings. Emotions. Knowing your emotions state, or rather, let's say this again, knowing your emotional states before entering a situation makes you more aware of your own reactions and feelings and can help you from acting on any that might not be appropriate. So, how do you develop self awareness? So, you've decided that you want to improve your self awareness, but you just don't know how to do that. Like anything, it will take some practice. Yet, with time, you can gain greater self awareness, which will lead to a greater happiness and better relationships in your life. With that in mind, here are a few tips. Track your thoughts and feelings. Practice cognitive behavioral therapy because there are many phone apps that can help you to do this. Alternately, many therapists specialize in this practice and can help you apply it to your life. Get curious about your feelings. Act and Ask a friend or a coworker for honest feedback and don't get mad. Meditate. Write down your goals, priorities, and values in life. Take self awareness tests. Challenge your thoughts. When you're thinking about yourself negatively, try to reframe it with a positive thought. If you look back into the 20th century when Eric Berne came up with transactional analysis and talked about the parent, the adult, and the child, and how all of those things are the things that we hear in our head because the child says, I want. Remember that little child that always says why and questions everything, and all you hear is, I want? Then you've got the parent who tells the child, you should. Then you have that inner person that's inside you that says, I am able to. So you have to look at what the things you're hearing and how you've internalized them and how you can change them. And all of that has been repackaged into the laws of attraction. So gain greater self-awareness and watch your whole life improve. Self-awareness improves your relationship with yourself and others. What's not to love? It can further help you figure out where you want to be in life and make that ultra clear. And don't be afraid to crash through your previous beliefs. As award-winning author Veronica Tuga-Lever once said, to know yourself, you must sacrifice the illusion that you already do. Generally speaking, with more self-awareness, you'll feel less lost and more self-assured. You'll know how to act accordingly in specific situations and even be able to control the outcome positively. If that isn't a superpower, we don't know what it is. And think of it this way. Go back into books that Eric Berne wrote that's called Games People Play and More Games People Play. Then look at a book that was written by Thomas Gordon called Scripts People Live. Because there's those games that you play with yourself in your head, and the script you live out usually is the one that someone has given you along the way and you've bought into. And the idea here is, how are you going to change those thoughts and become more self-aware and take more control over your own life and direction?